Welcome to this edition of Safety First. I'm your host, Tim Kelly. Joining us today from the Suffolk Police Department is Lieutenant Kevin Harrison. Lieutenant Harrison, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And we're talking about holiday safety. Yes, it's that time of year again, and we're all going to be out and about doing, hopefully a lot of shopping, hopefully keeping it local in Suffolk, of course. But no matter where you go, there's just always some good principles and things to think about just to keep yourself, your family, your friends, and also your belongings safe during the holiday season. And Lieutenant Harrison is here to share some information with us on that. Certainly, the holidays, a lot of shopping going on, people running around, running errands and things like that. What are some basic things people can think about while they're shopping, no matter where it is, just to stay safe and maybe aware of their surroundings?
You can start by, if you're going shopping with somebody. Mm-hmm. So you have somebody with you to deter anybody who may want to do something if you're walking alone,
right,
especially at night.
Right.
Most of your safety concerns, I guess, would be at night. Have your keys ready when you're going to your car if you are on your own. Right. Try and have a hand free if you're, in case you have to act or something like that, have a hand free.
Right.
Because you can't do a whole lot if you got your hands bundled up.
Sure.
Don't carry cash if you don't have to, and just be vigilant. Be aware of your surroundings. If you think something's going on or something's about to happen, don't hesitate to yell, scream, get on the phone, whatever.
I guess the big thing there is drawing attention to yourself that someone else can help you react to the situation, right?
Yes.
And I think being vigilant and aware, not paranoid, we want to draw a distinction between the two, but you talk about people going to their car with the keys in one hand, but if you're talking on the cell phone in the other, you're distracted. You're not focused on getting in your vehicle and getting your possessions secured and kind of getting on your way. So I guess, like you say, is kind of keeping that one hand free so that you have the ability to react and act, right?
Yes.
Now, when it comes to, you're getting your stuff in your car, your packages or whatever, what are some precautions? I mean, obviously, I think one of the big things people always like to say is don't put them on the front seat, don't put them in the back seat, so that when you go to that next stop, you have items sitting out and about and people know what you got in the car, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be best to secure your things in a trunk. Mm-hmm. If you have a trunk, obviously there's some cars that don't have trunks.
Correct.
I know there are some SUV type vehicles that have a shade that you can pull over to cover things up.
Yes.
It's always best to keep things covered up.
Okay. And again, keep it covered up, and I guess if they can't see it, they don't know it's there to even kind of cause a problem with that. And I know it's a good opportunity right now to talk about, I know from time to time, unfortunately, we have incidents in Suffolk where we have a lot of car break-ins, and it's generally due to the cars being left unlocked. And I think it's great that people can feel safe and secure in their own community to be able to do that. But again, it's just a welcome invitation for someone walking by or checking things out to easily get into your vehicle and possibly take some items, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Always lock your car.
Right.
And always lock your house.
Very simple things, but can make a big difference, right?
You don't always think about it.
Right.
Like you said, people feel secure in their neighborhoods, and again, that's a good thing.
Correct.
But there are people that will take advantage of that.
Yes. Now, in addition to shopping in the holiday season, one of the other things people like to do is a lot of parties and out celebrating and having a good time and everything. And certainly want to, remind everyone as far as having that designated driver, being safe and monitoring, any, alcoholic beverages or anything you intake to make sure that you're safe enough to get on the road and secure in that sense. But when you leave your home to go to a party, go shopping, go do anything during the holidays, certainly people are aware there's, packages, there's Christmas trees or whatever out and about, but making that sure your home is secure. And I guess when you leave, we hear things about leaving a light on or, if you're going to be gone visiting relatives, having things on a timer. Just your thoughts about those kind of general things about keeping that home kind of safe and secure so that it's nice and good to go when you come back.
It's always good to have a light on at night. Like I said before, lock your house. I mean, I don't think most people who are going out of town are not going to lock their house.
Correct.
But make sure it's locked. Have a neighbor keep an eye out for you. Mm-hmm. Maybe you can ask a neighbor to park a car and park one of their cars in your driveway.
Good tip. Yeah.
If they're okay with that.
Right.
Make it look like somebody's home.
Correct.
Have your neighbor get the mail so there's not mail, picking up papers, things like that, so it doesn't look like somebody's not there. Mm-hmm. Basically, you want to make it look like somebody's there.
Correct.
And any ideas that anybody have to help do that,
right.
That's a good thing.
Now, a lot of people, again, we're talking holiday season, you have those packages being delivered to your home, and they're sitting out there on the doorstep and get delivered midday, and they're just sitting there, and again, you're saying, I have something available. What's advice that the police department can offer with regard to maybe how to better handle those situations?
If you know you're not going to be home, there's several things that you can think about doing. If your work allows it, have it delivered to work.
Right.
If you work during the day. If you know you're not going to be home, but a neighbor may be home, have your neighbor look out for it. It's inconvenient, but you can require signing.
Right.
And they won't leave it on your. If it's something really important,
Yeah.
you probably want to look at doing that.
Correct.
Or I think you can call whoever and specify, leave it in the back if you have access to the back. Anything you can do just to make sure it doesn't sit there all day.
And I guess, certainly advice and things like we're talking about here today, not only benefits the individual, benefits the community, but it also benefits the police department because you're not responding to calls for that. Certainly you will as you need to, but it frees you up to have those resources available for other things if people can take those simple precautions just to kind of, if you will, take the temptation out of the situation and, make those situations a little bit better there. One thing the Suffolk Police Department has done for a number of years, they call it Holiday on the Beat. If you could talk about what that program is, what areas that you kind of try to target within the department, and maybe the general benefits it brings to the community.
Holiday on the Beat is officers who are working part-time, which is other than their regular duty, and they are specifically tasked with patrolling shopping centers, shopping areas around in the city, and being visible. And one of the things they have to do is get out and walk around. They can't just drive around. They have to get out, have to engage people who are out, engage store proprietors, owners. And basically it's a thing for visibility, to try and deter anything that may happen.
And you talked about the fact that it's people that are working, pardon the expression, part-time or extra hours. It's not taken away from their normal duties. So we're not, taking resources from one part of the department and moving.
No.
It's extra. It's money that's put in the budget to be able to accommodate for this. And I guess it's sort of an old school way of policing, in the sense of the officer, so to speak, with the baton walking the beat in the old cities. But being that we're all so spread out nowadays, and we have all the development up north, we have the development downtown and other areas of the city. So, and y'all are covering all of those areas.
Yes, they are split between downtown and the northern end of the city.
So it's not just centralized in one location. Again, you talked about those high population, that high density shopping areas that you target, and I think it's good because it's if you will, community policing, because the officers, if they don't know the store owners or meet some of the shoppers, it puts the men and women of the department out there to engage with the public, which is a good way to kind of get people to know people, in addition to the benefit of helping police.
Part of it is we have to hand out flyers as well to business owners and to anybody that we may see walking around. And those flyers include a lot of the things that we've previously talked about with securing your home. I think last year we included the packages because we had a problem with people stealing packages off of people's porches. So it's a good thing. I think it's very beneficial. It doesn't mean nothing's going to happen, but hopefully it will deter somebody if they see police officers actively getting around.
I think it's mainly getting the information to the store owners who can share it with customers or work with them, and there's always threats out there in anywhere, but certainly I think having the citizens more vigilant, more aware of their circumstances.
It goes back to the first thing we spoke about, is that we have to rely on people out there to alert us to what's going on, because we can't be everywhere at one time. So hopefully with something like this that we're speaking about, and with us being out there starting day after Thanksgiving, we can get people to just help us out and be more vigilant to what's going on, and hopefully everybody will be safe.
Well, that's what we're certainly counting on. And one thing I just thought about with shopping, and I know it again, a problem throughout the year, but again with the holidays and everything, guarding those credit cards. When you're out there in the store, I guess keeping your PIN numbers as private as you can, and certainly making sure those credit cards aren't out there, and don't leave it behind. And that's an obvious one, but just making sure, because people sit there with the cell phone and they'll take a picture or do something like that, and then can get your information. And I guess it's again just being vigilant and aware of what's going on around you, the fact that, safeguard your belongings and things like that.
There is a lot of technology out there now that is available to a lot of people where you don't even have to take your credit card out. It's something that somebody may want to look into. I use it.
Right.
You don't get to use it everywhere.
Correct.
But
Correct.
there are a lot of places that you can go to and you don't even need to take your credit card out.
Right. Right. So again, it's just being safe and secure and knowing.
And you want to just make sure that when you use it, you quickly.
Right.
Sometimes you got to hand it over.
Correct.
I don't like doing that, but sometimes you have to.
Right.
But if it's a swipe thing, just quickly and put it away.
And I know when I'm out shopping or anything and someone asks to see my ID to match it up with the thing, I like the fact they're taking the extra step.
Yeah, don't get annoyed by that.
Right, no.
That's a good thing. They're helping you out.
Correct. I mean, they're just connecting the dots, and it saves them from any loss prevention as well as you from the customer possibly having a situation that goes in a direction you don't want to have it go into.
Credit, that is a direction you don't want it to go into.
That could be a world of hurt right there. But so we talked about when you're away, keeping that home safe, keeping the lights on, making sure it looks and acts, so to speak, like someone's at home. We talked about it certainly guarding your possessions and being vigilant when you're out doing shopping. We talked about the Holiday on the Beat, which is a great service, and thank you again to the police department for offering that service every year. As you close out the segment here, any thoughts or just, again, maybe recapping a few highlights here?
You brought up parties.
Yes.
Going to parties.
Yes.
Just be careful. Don't drink and drive. I know that's been said forever.
Sure, sure.
It still happens.
Right.
If you're at a party and you've had too much, get a ride.
Right.
Have a designated driver to just, if you know you're going to be going out drinking,
Yes.
call a cab.
Right.
I know that it's not necessarily the most easy thing to do in this area, but it's probably worth the extra expense versus what can happen.
Correct.
But and be careful on the roads. If you see somebody that you think may be impaired, call the police.
And that's, you call 911 and report that,
Yes.
correct? Okay. And then again, I guess the men and women will respond to the department.
I'd rather it be nothing than
Yes.
something. I say that to everybody all the time.
Right.
I just didn't want to call. I'd rather it be nothing than be something.
Okay. Lieutenant Harrison, we appreciate your time today. Talk about, kind of general holiday safety in a lot of situations where it comes into play. And again, the role that the police department plays in educating the population, the citizens out there, of what to do, again, what to be thinking about. And I guess, as you always said, if you see something, as they say, if you see something, say something. I think it's one of the things that the department likes to get out there.
Some people are hesitant to do it. You don't have to identify yourself.
Correct.
You don't have to. I don't understand why people don't, but because you don't necessarily have to get involved, and you don't even have to say who you are.
Right.
So
just report it and then
let us take care of it. And if it's something that's, I always feel that if it's something that if it crosses your mind, you probably should.
Okay.
So and it does help us if you'll stay on the phone when you're calling about something like that, at least until we catch up to because we get calls about drunk drivers every now and then, and they'll hang up, and poof, they're gone.
The driver could get off the road or take a turn or something,
Absolutely.
and then you're looking in the wrong place based on the information that you have, right? Yes. Good deal. All right. Well, again, Lieutenant Harrison, thank you for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Look forward to a very safe 2015-2016 holiday season here in the city of Suffolk. And that would do it for this edition of Safety First. I'm your host, Tim Kelly. We'll see you next time.